You've tuned into the Property Show with me, Vasudha Sharma. Over the next 1 hour, we are going to take your calls and emails on your property-related queries and give you credible data-backed advice on your investments. And to help us do that, I'm joined by Sameer Jasuja, founder and MD of Prop Equity. First, let's take a glance at what's coming up on the show today. A review of North Bangalore and a short list of investment options within 40 to 50 lakhs. Also, mid-budget properties in Chennai's rapidly developing new suburbs. And then the NCR market will identify the best sectors of Noida to invest in. And prime properties in NCR's other suburb of Faridabad in 75 lakhs. We'll also head to Thane to look for the best end-use residential properties for 60 to 80 lakhs. And the government likely to review its environment norms following the National Green Tribunal's order stalling construction and possession of flats in Noida. Let's kickstart the show with a quick wrap of news stories and developments that could make or break your realty investments.
The recent hike in cement prices across Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Andhra could see a halt in construction activity in some of these states. On Wednesday, CREDAI Chennai announced that construction across South India would stop if prices aren't reversed by July 7. Infrastructure projects like Chennai Metro Rail, Outer Ring Road and other state highway projects are also expected to be impacted by the stoppage. Cement saw a 25% hike in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Andhra on June 1. The stoppage on July 7th is expected to be indefinite if the price hike isn't reversed.
Price increase is an accepted phenomenon. We are not against that particular. The nominal price increase could have been there. It is something which is acceptable. But there is a sudden increase of 25% when there is a capacity underutilization, gross underutilization of capacity. And when the economy is just picking up, we are just showing signs of pickup. At this point of time, if you suddenly increase the price, then I will have to increase the price. Other people will have to increase the price. Then I think the economy is once again going to sink. So we will have again 12-13% as the inflation, and not at a single-digit inflation is again going to be it's going to be very far.
Maharashtra Chief Minister has offered a solution to the residents of Campacola that will ensure the 96 illegal flats are not demolished and converted into legal flats. CM has sought the opinion of Solicitor and Advocate General on the demand of regularizing the 67,000 square feet of permissible FSI available to the 7 Campacola buildings. State government sources said that while the gas, water and electricity connections will be cut, no holes will be punched and the flats will not be made inhabitable. The Ministry of Road Transport and Highways has approved road projects worth Rs 40,000 crore besides setting a target of building 30 km of roads a day from 2016. Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari reviewed about 250 projects worth Rs 60,000 crore. These projects were mainly stuck due to issues related to land acquisition and environment and forest clearance issues. The stalled projects will be up and running in the next 3 months. Karnataka Chief Minister, speaking on the development of Bangalore Metro, has informed that the Phase 2 of Namma Metro is expected to be completed by 2019. While all lines of Phase 1 will be completely operational by 2015, the detailed report for Phase 2 has been prepared and submitted by Delhi Metro Rail Corporation. The second phase of Bangalore Metro, which includes extension of Phase 1 corridors as well as construction of 2 new lines, would require an investment close to 26,000 crores. Pashamnath Developers plans to monetize its land parcels worth Rs 1,000 crores. The Delhi NCR-based developer has conveyed its plan to either sell its land parcels in South and West India or form joint ventures with local builders for development. The company has land parcels in cities like Chennai, Hyderabad, Kochi, Goa, Mysore and Palakkad. Pashamnath is targeting to reduce the debt to 500 crore by March 2016 from existing Rs 1,300 crore. The funds raised for divestment would be primarily used for debt reduction.
Our top story, in a move that could come as a huge relief for thousands of home buyers, top Environment Ministry officials have told NDTV that the ministry is reviewing the order of the National Green Tribunal regarding constructions in the 10-kilometer zone of the Okhla Bird Sanctuary. And the ministry is likely to dilute the construction norms around the sanctuary that falls right at the entry point of Noida. Onitam Ojha joins us with the details. Onitam, what are those norms that the Environment Ministry is looking to tweak?
What official sources have told us, Vasudha, is that the Environment Ministry is likely to reduce the radius around the Okhla Bird Sanctuary from the current status of 10 kilometers to about 100 meters. But this will be only around the Okhla Bird Sanctuary. As far as the Yamuna River is concerned, the radius is likely to stand at 10 kilometers. But this is a proposal that the Environment Ministry is considering at this point of time. A final decision on this particular notification will be taken only after the UP and the Delhi governments submit the ground truthing survey report to the central ministry. Now, the Environment Ministry has asked both the state governments to conduct this survey to identify the eco-diversity around the Yamuna, around the bird sanctuary, and depending on the result of this particular survey, the Environment Ministry will take a final call on identifying and notifying the eco-sensitive zone around the Okhla Bird Sanctuary and the Yamuna River. Remember, there was this NGT order just a few days back which had impacted about 20 to 30,000 flat owners as well as about 40 real estate developers. The NGT order had banned any construction around the Okhla Bird Sanctuary up to a radius of 10 kilometers, which is a significant area, which has put tremendous pressure on the Environment Ministry to notify the eco-sensitive zone around these bird sanctuaries, and the NGT order is based on the 2006 Supreme Court order. So, a final decision, however, according to sources, is expected very soon, maybe as early as the first week of next month. Back to you.
All right, Onitam there telling us what could be the road ahead in this crucial case involving thousands of home seekers and investors in the Noida region. All right, moving on, let's solve your queries. Looking at South now, we have Bangalore and Chennai next on our radar. But first we get to those, let's get you a special report. Now, the Karnataka government has proposed to increase the value of TDR certificates, which stands for Transfer Development Rights Certificates, from 1.5 to 2.5 times in an attempt to popularize the scheme. The state government is hopeful that this will encourage more landowners to opt for the TDR scheme, but indications so far are that this attempt too is doomed to fail. Lakshmi Sivdas joins us with the full story.
This is Tannery Road, an area identified to set up Phase 2 of Bangalore's metro line. The nearly 700 shops here are expected to be halved in size once road widening work for the area begins. The government planned to compensate landowners by issuing Transfer Development Rights or TDR certificates, but these tannery owners are in no mood to entertain that.
The policy of the government and the agency that is doing the widening road and the metro and paying people in the form of TDR is totally undemocratic.
This is a common response to the government's attempt to implement the TDR scheme within the city. So what is a TDR? It is essentially a certificate that gives affected landowners access to an equal amount of land in other parts of the city. These certificates can be used to build additional areas on existing properties or can even be sold to developers. The BBMP needs to build 216 roads and other infra projects as part of its master plan. Nearly 3 lakh properties are to be impacted, and the TDR scheme was expected to be the solution to acquiring this land. But the response so far has been disappointing. Out of the 15 lakh square feet needed immediately, the government has only managed to acquire about 3.5 lakh square feet through the TDR scheme.
The real congestion is happening in the CBD area, and there hardly any road widening took place by surrender of TDR, because today if you take say Vittal Malya Road, the land prices are 20,000 rupees square feet as per guideline value. If somebody surrender the land and if he get just 1.5 TDR, I think it doesn't make any financial sense to the person who is surrendering the land.
That is why the government's proposal to push the TDR from 1.5 to 2.5 times the value of land is significant. Experts feel that it still will not be enough.
70% of the people who have long and complex tenancies get immediately impacted in the most regressive ways. The people who are displaced, who are far more numerous, they would be forced to then relocate to another part of the city, and the kind of compensation that they get will not be enough for them to resettle. So it will actually worsen the land situation.
In spite of these very real problems, the government is still keen on having the TDR scheme implemented. Why? Because unlike the complicated land acquisition route, the TDR scheme takes much less time to complete.
We need to wait for at least one and a half years for the land acquisition award to be passed, and then payment of compensation to the people, and then starting the work. In this process, I can simultaneously notify the road widening and also start the work immediately, and entire process will be completed in less than 2 years, whereas land acquisition process will take about 4 years.
Landowners are determined not to opt for the TDR scheme, and the government's revised scheme too seems doomed to fail. The big question, Will the government be forced to use the Land Acquisition Act, or will they rework the scheme even further to make it attractive for landowners who own prime properties within the city? In Bangalore, Lakshmi Shivdas, NDTV.
Let's start with markets down south. Our first caller on the line is Supriya. Hi Supriya, how do we help you?
Hi, I'm looking out for an upcoming investment project in North Bangalore, and my budget is of 40 to 50 lakhs. I would appreciate if you could advise me on good investment, for a good investment.
All right, North Bangalore, 40 to 50 lakhs. She had also shortlisted Ozone Urbana in Devanahalli. What's your take on this?
So, first of all, I think the Ozone Urbana project is a good project in Devanahalli. It's located close to the prominent commercial developments on Bellary Road, near the Trumpet Road as such. This is a large project. It's about 2,500 units and about 158 acres. So it's going to be very meticulously planned with schools, hospitals, supermarkets, all of them within the township itself. The construction of the project is going on with 2 blocks under construction today, namely Urbana Aqua and Urbana Pavilion. It's about 4 kilometers from the Devanahalli airport and 6 kilometers from the Devanahalli village. So from our point of view, this project is available with the developer and gets a go ahead. Let's just look at some key data points and also give you some more recommendations for you to consider. There's another micro market that we've got for you, which is close by to Devanahalli, which is Jakor, which has better infrastructure today. If you were to look at the total projects, not very much, 12 and 15. Inventory overhang is also safe. Devanahalli is 17 and Jakor is 22 odd months. Weighted average price, Jakor is a slightly more expensive micro market, but if you look at it, it's 4,350 rupees a square foot compared to Devanahalli at 3,650 rupees a square foot. But Devanahalli is done better because of the lower price on the price appreciation map, 11% odd annualized appreciation for Devanahalli, and Jakor is slightly behind at 9.41%. If you were to look at 2 more options from our side, Divyashri Nest by Divyashri Group. This is a project located on the NH7 Hyderabad highway after the Devanahalli village. It's spread across 1 acre. It's only got 47 units as such. It's a quality development and possession is going to be handed over soon. So the question is that if you want to go for a smallish project, it's got some good amenities, then you may want to consider it. So the choice is between a very large project and a very small one. And if you want to go for a mid-sized one, there's Mittal Palms by Mittal Builders, Jakor. This is 3,800 rupees a square foot, and this is one of the few properties which face the Jakor lake. And it's a serene location with many units facing the lake as such. The availability is limited to an extent in this project, but you can pick it up from the developer even now.
Okay, Supriya, so the project you have in mind, Ozone Urbana in Devanahalli, you can go ahead. The builder has a known track record in this region, and the location that you have in mind, Devanahalli, a good investment hotspot today. In your budget, properties will be rather limited, so we're also recommending you Jakor as a location. As Samir pointed out, it's an emerging micro market. It's close to many business parks and the international airport. Projects that you could look at, Divyashri Nest by Divyashri Group and Mittal Palms by Mittal Builders. Next, we have Madhav. He wrote us an email saying, I would like to inquire about Provident Housing's Cosmos City. It's a 3-bedroom budget apartment, 1,062 square feet, located at Pudupakkam near Sipcot Seruseri IT Park. Is this a good option for a budget of around 40 to 45 lakhs? I would like to know about the appreciation in the next 3 to 4 years. How is this going to move? Good location, Samir, near Sipcot?
Yeah, it's definitely going to benefit from the Sipcot IT Park as such. The Vandalur Kelambakkam road is actually witnessing a lot of development of residential projects across segments and will have better infrastructure as these projects near completion. Kelambakkam, of course, is another micro market that we are recommending, and this is an important junction connecting the ECR and the GST road. This also benefits a lot from the Sipcot IT Park. And if we were to look at your choice of your project, of course, Provident is a great developer in Pudupakkam. This is part of the Purvankara group, which is a very large group doing development across South India. Cosmos City is actually a premium lifestyle amenity project with a lot of facilities thrown in. You can go ahead with this project. Moreover, the project is located at the price of around 1800 rupees a square feet, which is now around 3300 rupees a square foot. So the project has seen a lot of appreciation since it is being developed. Now it's being handed over and still available with the developer. So it's done quite well if you were to compare it to the price appreciation charts of this micro market. The occupancy certificate will also be provided to you. So we suggest that you can ask the developer for all the documents and go ahead with this project. We've got some more recommendations lined up for you, but just looking at the key data points, very limited options in the mid segment in these two micro markets, Kelambakkam and Puttaparkam, 3 and 8 projects only, but the inventory overhang seems safe. 21 months for Puttaparkam and Kelambakkam is 18 months. The weighted average price for Puttaparkam is 3800 rupees a square foot and Kelambakkam is 3600 rupees a square foot. Price appreciation charge 12% for Puttaparkam on an annualized basis or 7% odd for Kelambakkam. So that is more of an end-use market that you may want to consider. The two other choices from our side are Padmalya by Real Value Promoters, available with the developer. This project is located on the Vandalur Kelambakkam main road and is an upcoming road which connects three major real estate destinations: GST Road, OMR and ECR. The third recommendation is Shubhbadi. This is Shrikaram Infratech, Kelambakkam. This is 2850 rupees a square foot. You can pick this up from the developer as well. Is located on the prestigious 6-lane IT corridor which starts from Madhya Kailash Junction and connects with Tirupurur. Project consists of 144 odd flats with a high UDS and that is what we think. It's a G+4 structure, so it's a smallish kind of a development that way.
Okay, so next 3 to 4 years, these two locations, Kelambakkam and Puttaparkam, how do you expect them to do? A lot of colleges and schools and IT parks?
So I think it will go in line with the market. If you look at the price appreciation trends, 20% odd appreciation has been witnessed in Puttaparkam, which is decent, actually 32% price appreciation, which is one of the best appreciations in the Chennai region. So I think with the weighted average price hovering around 36 to 3800 rupees a square foot, the scope of further appreciation becomes a little limited because these are also mid-segment markets, not like
and these are very small markets, very limited number of projects.
Very limited number of projects. So I think don't expect too much on the appreciation front.
Okay, more of an end-use market.
More of an end-use market.
Okay, Madhav, go ahead with Provident Cosmos City by Provident Housing. This location is close to the SIPCOT IT Park and there's a health city and many educational institutes. So this location is going to benefit. The projects we are recommending for you in another location like Kelambakkam are Padmalya by Real Value Promoters and Shubhadi by Shrikaram Infratech. Time for a short break on the Property Show, but you stay tuned to the channel. We'll come back and look at your legal problems with our expert in the studio. Also coming up, Mumbai's Byculla market all set for a makeover. Let's take stock of how this redevelopment project will set a precedent for the rest of Mumbai.